Right, the next community board that we have is the Waipapa Papanui-Innes Community Board, and they are presenting on the just on the annual plan.
Just annual plan, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and Emma Norris is immediately in front of me. Thank you. Welcome.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you for the opportunity to submit today on behalf of our Waipapa Papanui-Innes Community Board. I'm going to keep our presentation brief and we'll be highlighting some points from our written submission, but I'd like to start off with just a few general comments around council spending. Our board is aware that this is a challenging time financially for ratepayers as well as for council with increases in costs and the effects of COVID. We support keeping any rates increase as low as possible and definitely no higher than what was signalled in last year's long-term plan. We believe that with the issues brought on by the pandemic and the financial implications of those, council should not be operating in a business as usual manner. Prioritisation should be given to the provision of essential items and services in order to keep council's own costs down and relieve the burden on ratepayers. Now to some area-specific projects which are included in the draft annual plan that we would like to reiterate our support for. So just to note, these things are all included. We're not asking for anything extra. First up, the Belfast Park pedestrian and cycle crossing. This is required to provide access from the Spring Grove subdivision across the Wairau line into Belfast and was meant to be complete a number of years ago. There have been issues with Kiwi Rail which have held this project up, but we want to ensure that it is completed as soon as possible. Currently, we have school children crossing the railway line where there is no crossing in order to gain the easiest access to the school in Sheldon Park and that community sort of hub there in Belfast. The only other options for them are to go south to Radcliffe Road, which is that bottom red line, where there's no footpath, or all the way up to Belfast Road. Next, we have the proposed new traffic signals at the Grizzle Road, Landon Road intersection. I don't have to say too much about this, as I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it every time I've presented to you in the last 2.5 years. But just to remind you, the new retail development on Langdon's Road has led to a massive increase in traffic in the area and has put huge pressure on this intersection. We support the proposed signalisation of the intersection to alleviate congestion and increase safety in the area. We also strongly support the inclusion of the Northern Line cycleway Tuckers to Sturrocks in the draft annual plan. This is currently the missing link in the path alongside the Northern Railway line, and as you can see from this photo, people are still taking the route, including school children, and putting themselves at risk. Again, we know there have been delays to this project due to Kiwi Rail, but we implore you to please get on and get this section built. Another project included in the draft annual plan which has also been delayed due to Kiwi Rail is the Northern Line cycleway Herwood Road crossing. So we also support this being completed as soon as possible. Again, this is a safety issue with the cycleway's proximity to local schools, making it extremely busy, and the demand on this crossing is very high. The board supports the inclusion of stage 3 of the Norwest Arc cycleway and also the Wheels to Wing cycleway, and request that they be implemented as soon as possible. With regards to the Norwest Arc Section 3, we also request that the upgrade of Condell Ave be done at the same time. There was a 2010 resolution by Council to renew this section of Condell Ave, and it makes sense to do the work at the same time as the cycleway which goes through the Aorangi Condell Matsons Ave intersection. Our board supports the capital grant proposed in the draft annual plan for the Edgware Pool project. I'm sure you all know the background to this community project. The community's efforts started after the original pool was demolished by council in 2006, and it has been worked on since then by a hard-working group of volunteers. The community has always argued the need for a local pool in the area, with this need becoming even more prevalent with the significant increase in housing intensification in the St Albans area. To finish up, as I said earlier, we believe the council should be prioritising the essentials at this time, and this means continuing the focus on the road and footpath renewal program that was started in last year's long-term plan. We have a number of roads and footpaths in desperate need of repair, not just in our area but across the city. So please keep the focus on these. And that brings me to the end of the presentation. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Look, thank you, and especially for that focus on the Kiwi Rail interface with city council projects. It is a priority for us, and there is follow-up happening with the organisations. Pauline, Yanni.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Kiwi Rail does seem to be a stumbling block. Just because you're up in that area, with the Belfast crossing there, with the children crossing the railway line, do they have like a traffic warden helping them across in the morning like we see on the intersections in town?
Well, no, because they're not meant to cross the railway line. The school has provided information to families on safe rail crossing and all that sort of stuff, but there have been some people who have been still crossing at that point because it's the easiest access. It's a direct route from that subdivision right across the railway line.
So there's no supervision when they're doing that?
No, because they don't want to encourage it.
No. Okay, thank you.
Yanni, Jimmy and Mike.
Thank you. Do you know if the resource consent required the developer to pay for the traffic lights at Landon Greers, or are we being asked to pay as a council, even though the private development's what's enabled or caused?
That is, I believe that's still unclear, but council staff are still working with the developer. Right. The resource consent required there to be lights in there before stage 3 could open, and stage 3 hasn't been built yet.
Right.
But the resource consent wasn't clear as to who pays.
So my understanding, but it would be good to get some advice on this, is we can call in resource consents and change conditions if things don't materialise or go a certain way. But, given that this issue's been, I don't know how many years it's been raised with us, it just seems to me that clearly something's broken with our consenting if this is the sort of problem that can come up.
Sorry, suddenly saying to the chief executive, what's the process for recalling consents? I'm not familiar with it, so we'll get some advice on that to come to this process.
Yeah, I'll put the question in formally.
That's actually quite a significant issue, and I think one has to exercise a degree of caution because we're talking about the regulatory function of the council versus the policy side of the council. So
just in terms of your board, are you aware of the audit of the resource consenting that the council's done? And do you think it would be useful for us when we discuss the results of that to talk to community boards around, I guess, just looking at lessons learned or improvements or concerns that we could look to address going forward?
Yeah, that would be great to keep community boards in the loop with that, what comes from that audit.
Yeah, that might be a constructive way forward. Thanks.
Jimmy and Mike.
Thank you. I have 2 questions. First one, you particularly mentioned your board would like to keep the rates as low as possible. I just don't know that because at the moment you are aware, our draft one, the household is 4.86%, average 4.96. So how much percentage your recommendation is reasonable to keep the low?
Well, as we said, we would agree with what was proposed in the long-term plan last year, which I believe the annual plan is below that, if I'm correct. So, yeah, we just want them as low as possible. We don't really have a figure. We didn't discuss a figure.
Thank you, because some of the project, particularly like the 67987 Grizzle and Landon's road traffic light, where those budget conform, you want to improve the kind of traffic congestion control.
That project has been included in the draft annual plan.
Annual plan, this coming year already?
It's already in the draft, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've got Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. Just a couple of questions. When you spoke about the Herwood Road railway crossing, I assume you also mean the same for the Langdons Road and Sawyer's Arms Road?
Yes. Sorry, all 3. I think that was just the specific item was under Herwood Road, but yeah, all 3 of them kind of go together.
Yeah, and also with the Landon Greers intersection, there's a bit of money on for the next financial year, but the reality is that the main work wouldn't start for quite a while. Would you believe that the board would want that done sooner rather than later, as soon as possible?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Melanie?
Hi, Emma. Look, I was just wondering about two things you haven't mentioned and whether the board's discussed it. One's about the differential rate for the vacant Central City land.
We as a board chose not to comment on that because we stuck to things within our board area.
Okay, yeah, right. I won't bother asking the other one then.
Thank you. Very, very good. Look, thank you very much, Emma. It's, I mean, I don't think you can take the fact that we haven't used the whole time as a lack of interest, because you've really focused on specific issues and it's that interface with Kiwi Rail projects that has, I think, driven a number of us to distraction in a number of wards. So it's adding impetus to something that we've just got to get done.
Yeah, we appreciate the work that is going on with that.
Oh, I'm going to let Mike ask another question. I should have kept my mouth.
Just because, obviously, in parts of our community board area, we're seeing a lot of intensification. Do you believe the board should be looking at any mechanisms possible to increase the amount of trees we're planting in the public realm?
Yes, but I think we probably agree with the board before us in saying yes, as long as it comes from existing budget.
Okay, and but you would say that is a priority, though, if we looked at our budgets and potentially seeing what would fall down the list.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, especially in the likes of St Albans with the intensification that is going on and a number of trees being removed. It is a priority to keep up that tree coverage.
Okay, thank you.
Look, thank you very much again, Emma. That's an excellent presentation this morning. Thank you. Next is